Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today is Tuesday and I am in the middle of a couple of books. So yesterday, being off from work, I worked from home and I didn't start the vlog, but I did start Olympus, which is a webcomic. It's like Hades and Persephone. And the interesting thing about this is, for one, the art style is absolutely gorgeous. I'm about 70-ish episodes in. In Olympus, the world is very like futuristic. They have skyscrapers, they have technology. And then when they go to the human world, it is like back to Greece era. It's incredibly interesting, very gripping. The art style is gorgeous and I love the characters. Hades is like this nerdy guy and it is so cute. It's done so well. The art is gorgeous. The storytelling is just, it flows so seamlessly and you just like eat it like popcorn. It's just so good. Also am like halfway through the audiobook for Say Yes to the Marquess, which is that how you say it? It is the second book in the Castles Ever After series by Tessa Dare, and it follows Cleo and Rafe. Basically, Rafe is Cleo's betrothed brother, and they have like a attraction for each other, but obviously she's betrothed to his older brother, so it's kind of like that forbidden aspect. And in the beginning of the book, she goes to him and says, I want to call it off, like he doesn't love me and I want this wedding to, like, I want to cancel it, and since he's away, you can, you know, sign the whatever saying that it's annulled or it's canceled or whatever. And he basically says, like, give me a week to convince you that you should marry him, and if you aren't convinced in a week, then I will sign the paper. And obviously they have some budding feelings going on there. It's not like my favorite. It's pretty okay. It's not bad. Like, it definitely is very Tessa Dare, very fun. They get into some like steamy, quirky situations. It's like a 3-star. It just isn't anything like really spectacular. And then the other thing that I am reading is Burn For Me by Alana Andrews. Is that who it is? It's, which I didn't know previously, it's a husband-wife writing duo, and this is the first book in the Hidden Legacy series. I'm only 10% in, so I'm 40 pages in, and you seem to be following the main character who is I don't remember what her name is, but she is like a PI, and the company that owns her company basically calls her in to be a bounty hunter to capture this guy who is like an arsonist. And in this world there are like mages and things like that, and so he's a high, called a prime, which is like the max power you can have, I guess, and he's like destroying stuff. And so they want her to capture him and also capture some like teenage boy that is with the arsonist guy. And yeah, I'm only 10% in and it's okay. I'm not hating it. I thought about DNFing it already thus far. I also have some library books that I am really interested in. I don't know why I have like this, where I go through this spurt where I want to read YA murder mystery, because 99% of the time I don't have a good experience. But I got 2 books from my library. One I don't think is a murder mystery, I think it's a thriller, and it's called The Cheerleaders, and I think it's something to do with the cheerleaders dying. And then I got the other one, Someone That Is In Your House, which I think is just like your stereotypical, like someone's in your house, like exactly what it sounds like. So I'll probably pick up one of those. I'm gonna try to get through Burn For Me first, because it has like a sooner return time. I am super enjoying Olympus. There is some triggering content in there, and there's always trigger warnings before each episode that might, you know, talk about some triggering things. So just keep that in mind before you go into it, but I would super recommend it. It talks about some dark stuff, but it's so cute just overall, and just, it feels like a warm blanket, and it's great. So if you are into webcomics, or even if you're not, let this be your first one, because it's perfection. But that is the update. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. guys. The week has super gotten away from me. It's actually Thursday, I think. So I have been reading a little bit. So let's go over the things that I have finished. So I ended up finishing Say Yes to the Marquess by Tessa Dare. I was talking about it in my last clip. It's the second book in the Castles Ever After series. I didn't love it. I ended up giving it 3 stars. It definitely felt like plug and play. Like I could have put any characters in that story and it wouldn't have made a difference. Like I wouldn't have noticed. I mean, really the plot, the characters, everything just felt very flat. And the tension that you would assume would be in the story from the like brother's fiance trope or brother's girlfriend trope or whatever, you would assume that that tension would be there. It just wasn't there. Like I didn't really feel any tension from them, like from the forbidden aspect of their relationship. It just didn't really feel like it was all that compelling. I didn't really care whether the couple got together. And yeah, I mean, I like Tessa Dare. I like the more modern feeling of the historicals that she writes. They're always funny and enjoyable. They sometimes deal with harder topics, but not in like an overly saturated way. So I appreciate them for, you know, the fun little romp, but I don't ever really feel like, at least for this one, I didn't really feel like it's lasting. I definitely have Tessa Dare books that I remember and like have stuck with me, but that's just definitely not one of them. And then I ended up finishing season 1 of Lore Olympus, the webcomic that I was telling you about, and it's broken up into seasons. So in Goodreads it's season 1 and season 2, and I gave, hi, please don't rub that, thank you. I ended up giving season 1 5 stars. Like I loved, please don't, please don't, please don't, please don't. I ended up giving season 1 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous comic. The illustrations are gorgeous. The art is just everything. And I love the character quirks. I love the characters. I love the spin on Greek mythology. Everything about it is so sweet and so fun. Like I said previously, there definitely are trigger warnings and there are some very heavy topics handled in this. But again, this doesn't feel oversaturated in heaviness. It feels like it's a part of life and a part of things that everybody deals with, but it's still fun and enjoyable to read, and I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to go on to season 2. There was Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. It's supposed to be like a YA thriller, and it's kind of boring. I am 31% of the way through, and it's really just like teenager-y things. It's kind of the same issue that I had with Clown in a Cornfield. It's very reminiscent of like a thriller movie where you get the death in the prologue, and then you get like teenagers just being teenagers, and then the death still, you know, starts coming. But in a book, I just don't think it translates that well. I think it makes the book something that it's not. At least in the beginning. This is about McKenny, and she is new-ish to town. It's a small town in Nebraska, and there are some deaths that start happening at her school, and mostly it's been about her relationship with like this outcast boy. But there's been another murder, and so hopefully we will jump into it. But again, it's not that great. It's only 291 pages, and I'm 88 pages in. Because it's so short, you would assume that it would be quick, but it's not. So those are the reading updates. We will talk again later. Happy Thursday. Friends, so it is Friday afternoon. I am home from work and I am ready to, are you following? I can't tell. I'm ready to get into some reading. I have DNF'd 2 things since we last talked, and I also finished book. 2 things that I DNF'd are these 2 things. I think it's like someone inside your house, and what is it? Hold on, the cheerleaders. And I think I'm just gonna give up on this genre of like YA thriller or whatever, because I don't think that it's for me. It might be my headspace, it might be a million other things, but this is now like 3 or 4 books in this genre that I haven't liked. Anyways, I also finished the audiobook for Homecoming Daze, and there's no reviews on this book. So I was the first person to review it. I gave it 3 stars. It's like a 119-page novella that I listened to audiobook for, about a girl who is in college, and she is like filming a documentary or something along those lines, and the documentary is following 2 different guys, and she has, both of them are her love interests, and it centers around homecoming. So it was okay. I really kind of wish that it had been longer, because you're kind of plopped into the middle of their love triangle, and it doesn't wholly make a lot of sense. And the conflicts, because we don't have the prior setup of just knowing the characters all that well, the conflict is a little confusing and very abrupt. So yeah, it was okay. I think for the next book that I'm gonna pick up, I'm gonna dive into my April TBR a little early. These are the books that I don't have like prompted or anything like that. The book that I am considering is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. So this follows multiple characters, but it seems like this is not the one I was thinking of. It's this one. So this follows multiple characters, but it centers around this family, and there is a guy named Owen that lives like across the street from them, and he's a creep. And then there is the Four family, and then there is Safri, who was, I guess, maybe a student having an affair with the male husband, I guess. I don't know. All I know is Safri disappears, and the last person that saw her alive was Owen. And they the Fours don't like Owen. They think he's creepy, and they think that he is stalking their daughter, who is like underage. So I'm gonna give this a shot. I don't know, I feel like I've seen this cover a lot, but I just can't recall the reviews or opinions associated with it, because I just never really cared to pay attention. But yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna dive into. I would love to go sit on my back porch because it's absolutely gorgeous outside, but unfortunately my neighbor has her entire family over, and they're all on their back porch talking, which they're far enough away, they're a good distance away, that it wouldn't, not for social distancing purposes, but social anxiety purposes. I have no interest in doing it, so probably going to eat my lunch, sit in front of my window, my open window, enjoy the breeze, and jump into this, and we will see how it goes. This will be my first Lisa Jewell, so it'll be interesting. Okay, we'll talk later. Hi friends, it is Saturday, and I just finished Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell, and I'm going to give this 3 stars. So I really like this book, and I was going to update you guys at 50%, but I kind of just was gonna grind out and get it done because I was enjoying it so much until the last 50 pages when everything started to wrap up. So this is basically the story of one family and then 2 people that revolve around them or are involved in their life. One is Owen, who is their neighbor, and one is the patient of the father, and he was her therapist from 10 to 16, I think. Is that how old she is now? He releases her, basically says you're good to go, and then he lets her go as a patient, and she starts stalking him, following him around, and she discovers some things about him, and she kind of gets obsessed with him, following him around, seeing the things that he's doing. Owen is suspended from his job for an investigation into some sexual misconduct claims against him, or accusations against him, and he kind of gets entrenched into the world of incels. And then, of course, simultaneously, some women are being assaulted in the area, and people assume it's him. And then the other point of view is the mom of the family that this whole story revolves around. So she is a stay-at-home mom. She has 2 kids, a younger boy named Josh and an older late high school girl named something, Georgia, I think. And she kind of is obsessed with her husband. She is convinced that he is having an affair, and she previously, their marriage is strained because of some accusations she levied against him. She was going through his personal stuff, just like an invasion of privacy sort of deal, because she felt like he was having an affair. So you're getting the unraveling of these 3 main points of view: the mother of the family, Owen, and the teenage girl. You're getting their unraveling, all centering around mystery of who is assaulting these girls. And it was really good, like I said, up until like the ending. And the ending, I felt like the build-up was fantastic. The build-up was high octane. It was fascinating. It was twisty and turny and engaging. And then the ending happened, and it felt completely lackluster. I felt like we were just up here, and then what was supposed to be the peak just like plummeted and just was so dumb and just kind of left field. I personally prefer a mystery that is very twisty and turny, but you're given the clues to guess the ending. And I guess you could have guessed, but it just didn't seem like a good enough answer, I guess. So I didn't really account for it. I'm like, come on. Yeah, so it was a disappointment. I ended up giving it 3 stars. And I've heard similar things about pretty much all of her books, that they are great until the ending. So we are done with that. And now I am going to start The Family Upstairs. So this is the story of a woman who inherits the like $1 million dilapidated mansion from her parents, her dead parents. And in this mansion, like prior to like 24 years ago or something like that, police were called to the mansion where they found 3 dead bodies, a very young child left alone, and then the 4 other kids in the family were mysteriously missing. And that's kind of the setup for the story. I've heard similar things as The Invisible Girl, where the buildup is just really great, and then the ending is very lackluster. So hopefully I have a different feeling about it, but I have definitely lowered my expectations. My expectations for The Invisible Girl weren't great going in, but as the story kind of got more interesting and like I got more enveloped in the story, I definitely was expecting more as the story went on, and it just let me down. So we're gonna jump into The Family Upstairs, and we will talk probably at the halfway point and see how I'm feeling. I'm halfway through The Family Upstairs. It's boring. It's really boring. I really think she was trying to like build a slow suspense of this cult, and it's not working. Something that thriller authors do is they will do like, they'll drop a bombshell and then they'll cut out and go to like a separate point of view to like build the suspense. And she's doing different points of view, but she's not making anything interesting happening. So when the points of view change, it just feels abrupt and like something is missing. That's like the big takeaway from this, is like there is something missing. I don't know what it is, but it's just boring. The other one, I felt like the suspense was built well, but this one just feels a little lackluster. I'm gonna continue reading because for 1, it's short, and for 2, I do want to know the ending, but at this point, it's probably gonna be a 2, unless it like greatly increases in enjoyment level at some point. Something needs to happen. Something needs to blow my mind, or this is gonna be a 2. So I'll be back. Hi, so I just finished The Family Upstairs, and yes, I realized in my last clip that I'm holding up the wrong book, but I ended up giving it 3 stars. It Yes. It got good, and then the ending just was bad. I think that she being Lisa Jewell tries to make her books have like a women's fiction, like chick lit ending, and it just does not work with like the vibe of the story she's trying to tell, and it just doesn't make it. Like, they're very unsatisfying, very anticlimactic, and they make you feel like you've read the book for no reason. So next, I just want something that'll scratch that thriller itch, so I think I'm going to try 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. This is another one that people either do not like or really like. So it's about a guy who writes a blog, and the blog is about like the perfect murders of literature, and then he finds out that someone has been imitating the murders from his blog, and so he gets kind of pulled into these murder investigations. And I think I know the ending. I think I know the big reveal. I might have watched a spoiler video at some point for this, because I didn't think that I was gonna read it, so I think I know the ending. I might be incorrect, but I'm like 67% sure that I know the ending, but we'll see. This is super short. It's less than 300 pages, so hopefully I can finish this tonight. It's only like 8:30, so I'm going to make a cup of coffee, get my clean and warm sheets out of the dryer, and curl up. So hi friends, it is time to wrap up this reading vlog because I have finished 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, and I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It's not good. There's nothing about this story that is like particularly compelling. Peter Swanson attempts to do sort of like an unreliable narrator sort of deal, and I just ended up not really caring. And like, we were slowly getting things revealed about the main character that is supposed to make the crimes that are going on more sketchy and like make it more twisty and turny, and it just didn't end up working. And the twists throughout and the twist at the end just was not very inventive, I don't feel like. And the book really set itself up for the ending, if that makes sense. So like, it was telling you what was going to happen, which was a little bit boring. I want a little bit more nuance, and I just didn't really like it. Like I said in my Goodreads review, it's readable, but so is the back of a shampoo bottle. And I think that sums up the uselessness of reading this book. And that is going to be the last of the books that I read for the week. Make sure you comment your thoughts on any of the books that I read this week down below, or just any of the books that you read this week. I would love to know your opinions on them. But other than that, I will catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching.